the next segment of 7 Minutes with Sima. I have my beautiful friend. I'm sorry, we always have fun together. So anyways, I have my beautiful friend Irene here, and we're going to be doing partner work. This is a great way to just connect. Sometimes if you want to unwind your evening, you're just sitting around having a cup of tea, or say you're in that low point or high point, nothing better than just hanging out with a friend and doing some partner work. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to come back to one another, and you're just going to start to breathe into one another. Irene is super flexible, and we're just going to communicate without even saying any words. I'm going to start to lean back on her. She's so flexible, I can add the extra weight of reaching my hands back, and she's pulling gently on my wrist and just opening through my heart and just really getting a nice stretch. And Irene is getting a fantastic stretch, aren't you, on your hamstrings?
Yes, for sure.
She's probably just saying that though. She's very flexible. Are you just saying that?
No.
And then you can stay here for as long as you want, just hanging out, just breathing back to back, just opening. The person who's on top, myself, you might even feel a slight stretch in your thoracic spine, your upper back. This is a great way if you're feeling a little congested after doing some maybe weightlifting or riding a bike, perhaps swimming. And then whenever you feel like switching sides, you can start to lift up. And you'll see I'm a bit tighter. So when Irene comes down, she won't unfortunately get quite as big of a back opening as I was. But same thing. I'm just going to grab hold of her wrist and I can gently just pull so she gets a deeper opening. How's that feel?
Great.
And one of the biggest things I can say about any relationship, whether it's a friend or a loved one, is communication. So while you're doing all of this partner work, it's a great time to just check in with one another. Notice if your partner's breathing is nice and deep. If it's not, just remind them to breathe. And just communicate, like, does this feel good? Do you stay longer? Just checking in with one another. It's such a great way, like I continue to say over and over again, connect. And then when you're done, coming back up. And to get out of this is a great way to start to build trust. You're going to link elbows, plant your feet flat on the ground, and then Irene and I are going to push into one another to stand up. Right? And then we're up. We can look at one another. We're excited to move on. So in this one, you're going to grab right forearm to right forearm, left forearm to left forearm. Step your feet a little wider than your hips, and then squat down as you pull back on one another. So the more you pull back, this feels so good. Mm-hmm. It just really gets a nice deep stretch. And sink your sit bone, like your tailbone, towards the ground. Continue to just pull back there. And then you can, if you want to open up the chest more, we're going to let go of our left arm, pull back on our right, and just sit here and open up through the side body and the front body. Continuing to sink, breathe, and then we'll come back, grab hold of each other's forearms again, and this time we'll release our right arms, continuing to pull back, just sinking into our squat. And then we'll come back. We'll stay here just for a few more breaths because squats are great for everything. You should be doing squats as often and as much as possible. They help alleviate back pain, and we can just shift around even here too, just kind of moving our weight from foot to foot as we pull back. And then we'll communicate to come up. So ready, come up, we'll come up, and then we'll just release, shake it out. I notice my hips are already feeling better. Mm-hmm. This time we're just going to reach across and grab each other's forearms. So straight across, we don't have to worry about crossing arms. We're going to step back a little bit and start to bring our weight into our heels as we pull back. We'll keep our arms alongside of our ears. And here, I like to shift a little bit side to side, just wagging my tail, also known as your bottom. But you're going to just keep your belly drawing in and really push your bottom towards the back of the room so you get a nice big opening in your back. I really could stay here almost all day. This is one of my favorite things to do with a partner. This is a great way to get back traction if you're feeling a little congested in your back as well. So both of these stretches would be worthy of your time. And then again, just communicating to come up. Thank you so much. And we're going to have Irene sit down. You'll face that way. So now we're going to work into the shoulders. So she's going to reach up and grab hold of her opposite elbows. I'm going to take my hands and float facing her back. My palms will come and touch her shoulder blades. From here, I'm going to take my knees so they're touching my palms. She is really flexible in her back and her shoulders, so there's not much work I have to do here. But I will communicate with her. How's that feel?
That's so good.
And so you're just twisting and opening. And as you twist, you're keeping your knees on your hands and just giving it a little bit of extra weight. Weight is probably not the right word, but just a little bit extra encouragement. So just opening the back there. So there's no weight. I'm not pushing anything on Irene. I'm just allowing her own body to open here. So I'm pulling back with my elbows so that her shoulder is open and just using my knees, again, to just be a placeholder to allow her to open a little bit deeper and encouraging her chest to open as we're here. And I'm just slightly twisting, nothing major. And then I'm going to go ahead and let her release. And then she'll face that right side of the room. I'm going to sit down. You probably want to be able to have your knees bent where your feet would be on your partner's bottom. And we're going to reach back and grab each other's forearms. From here, I'm just going to press into her back. My feet are on either side of her spine, so I'm not pressing on any bones here. I'm just slightly walking down her back, giving her some traction here. She's very open. You can keep your head dropping back. When I demo, you can go ahead and demo that way. When I demo, I'll keep my head probably tucked forward, just as she just did, just because I tend to hold a lot of tension in my upper body from doing pull-ups or push-ups or swimming, biking, living. I don't know where it all comes from. And then we'll release and we'll switch sides. Do we have to switch?
I know, right?
So we'll just demo this super quick just so they can see. So here I'm a bit tighter. You'll notice that when Irene comes through, my shoulders won't pull back quite so far, so I stay a little bit more upright, and she'll just move to the right and then to the left for me. And just for time's sake, I won't get as long of a stretch, which is rather unfortunate for me. And then same thing, you're going to switch on your partner and walk up their back. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to let her demo, or I'm going to demo doing a handstand on your back. So Irene's going to come into a downward facing dog. To place, for placement, you want to make sure that when you roll, if she was to roll forward in a plank, her shoulders are stacked over her wrists and she's reaching from her crown of the head to the heels. Then she's going to lift her tailbone toward the ceiling. I'm going to come in and I'm going to place my hands directly in front of hers. Then I'm going to take one foot and I'm going to make sure it's pressing on her, like right above her bottom. So I'm not in the middle of her spine. I'm not putting my foot anywhere on her sensitive spine. So I'm on one side of her upper back, and then from here, I'm going to put onto the other side, and I'm just going to push back. So I'm really giving Irene a nice stretch, as well as just opening up the back of my legs, and that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to let Irene come up and demo on me. And this is just for advanced yogis. So Irene has a beautiful handstand practice, and you would only want to do this if you're feeling comfortable and confident. So again, you're going to reach forward, make sure you're in the right position. When she comes into it, she's going to play with floating up into her handstand from here. So this is just giving her a little bit more height on her one-legged press. Right? So it's just a nice way, and a nice way to trust. And whenever she can stay up for hours. Probably not hours, but a long time.
As I'm knocking something over.
Oh. No big deal. So just make sure your decorations are put away. I'm just kidding. And then we just wanted to say thanks for checking in this segment. It's, again, a great way to connect and have fun, but make sure you communicate the whole time you're doing all of these stretches. And just enjoy. Thanks, yogis. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this segment of 7 Minutes with Sima. I look forward to our next one together. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel.